When you click on a video, you can already tell so much of what you're going to watch, just based on its editing style. Now to everyone else, editing styles aren't things that are really talked about at all. Now for us editors, obviously editing styles are a lot more focused on. Everyone wants to have their own editing style, everyone wants to be really, really unique, but they don't know how to get there. So much so that some of the time people just go and copy each other. Like they will take editing styles, copy and paste it onto their work because they are so lost, but they want it so badly to be editing on their own. But because one person's style looks so cool, we think, I'm gonna do that. My work will look so good if I just go and do that. So much so that they forget they can just step back and then take a direction and try and find their own editing style, which they will never do because they're so fixated on this progress that they think they are making with this, that they never want to take the sacrifice of stepping back, reevaluating themselves, and then taking that step forward to make their own editing styles. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is dannyrio. I've worked with some of the biggest YouTubers in the world like Nico Milana and Sharky, both from the Basic Squad, amongst many others you can find on my portfolio and my Twitter. And I help editors change their livelihoods, get their dream clients, and best of all, busting these editing myths. Now, first off, what is an editing style? What defines, what counts as a style of editing? There's many different labels you may have heard of. You may have heard of retention editing, non-linear editing, brain rot editing, TikTok editing, fast editing, Mr. Beast editing, raw editing, Imangazi editing, smooth editing, and documentary editing. Now, these are YouTube styles. These are things that we are familiar with. Now, I want to go over what allows these to be defined as editing styles. When it comes to editing styles, is their visuals. You see, with those Imangazi styles, you have all this finance, you may have seen money, or most importantly, that black grid background. It sets the tone. It's very formal, very money-like, very matrix-like, very well suited to Imangazi and his sort of personality and what he talks about. It sticks to his genre of content. That's why it's an editing style. Or with Mr. Beast, he's coined his very own style. Now, what's interesting about this is that we don't know what exactly it is. See, with Mr. Beast editing, the first thing that will come to mind with this, fast-paced videos, that comic subtitles, a lot of transitioning, and a lot of visual effects. And the best part about all of this is that we know this because this is just Jimmy's vision. This is how he sees, this is how he wants his videos to be edited. And it's very on brand, not because it's just very suited to his audience. That's such an important aspect of his editing style that no one really talks about enough. He does what he wants. This has been his editing style from the beginning, and it's how he wants to edit them. And that's exactly how editing styles should be treated. You see, with all these editing styles that we may see on like YouTube or Twitter or TikTok, we keep thinking that they need to have these labels on them. And then we think, oh fuck, how the hell do I make my own editing style? I need to think of something. Okay, how about this? I will have an ancient editing style. I'll make everything look super old, and I'll have yellow paper, and I'll have like sandy shit, and everything will look like it's ancient roll. No, that's not how things work. Or maybe I'll look everything really cartoony. I'll make everything super bubbly with a shine on them. No. Again, no. You don't need these labels to have an editing style. Your editing style is literally just what you want to do, and it's how you think. It's how you put pen to paper with all your ideas and then put them straight onto your software. Now, a phrase you'll very commonly hear is this steal like an artist. I want to get one thing straight. This steal like an artist stuff is bullshit. Now, if you haven't heard of this steal like an artist phrase, it essentially means that you take something, copy it, remix it, and change it up in your own way, and then put it out. But here's exactly what happens with people who try to steal like an artist. You take it, and you copy it, and you think, okay, what should I do here? Well, I guess I can change this tiny detail, or on that tiny detail, and then maybe the third tiny detail. Okay, now we're done. And next thing you know, you are just nearly 90% of the same as what you've just copied. Either way, with this stealing like an artist thing, you're going to try and stick to what you've just taken because it's so good. You copied this specific editing style for a reason, and now you don't want to change anything because it's just so good. If you keep looking at other people's edits and their work and other editors and their portfolios, you're just going to be stuck in this rabbit hole of thinking, wow, this guy's edit so good. How the hell am I going to get as creative as them? And then you go and steal like an artist, and you think you can just sort of scrape by your entire career until you make that $10,000 a month. Stealing like an artist never works because you just hold on and then you never let go. If you want to have full creative control of your own work, then you need to start letting go of the shit that you see online. Now, if you know who I am, then you know that I edit without plugins, or at least I try to. There'll obviously be times where clients will want me to do certain things that can't be done in Premiere without plugins. But that's not the point. People seem to misunderstand and think that no plugins is my editing style, which is not the case at all. You see, I don't define my editing style with certain components or elements in my own work. My editing style is literally, as I said earlier, how I think and how I put my ideas from pen to paper. When I think of a new idea, I will always try it out. In fact, almost every single video that I would take on, I would always try something new. I would try to make some sort of new effect or new sound effects. Or early in my career when I didn't know After Effects, I would try to do some After Effects stuff when I could. And this is exactly the sort of stuff that would lead me to getting my own editing style. There was a time where I was completely just washed up, completely bored, tired, exhausted, and completely just overall burnt out from editing. I wasn't learning anything new. I was just on this sort of plateau, and I didn't take on much client work because I just didn't want to do it anymore. And one day a new client hits me up and they say, "Hey Danny, we want to work with you. We have this big project for you. We have a lot of people on it. Footage quite long. We want to make this like a 20-minute video. We'll pay you $1,000 for it." Now, at the time, this was my biggest commission ever. $1,000. I've never, ever touched money like this in my life. But I wasn't super giddy. I wasn't over the moon with this because it was just, I didn't want to do it. I was tired. I was almost done with editing, to be honest. After all, $1,000 is hard to say no to. So I took it. And when I took it, I thought to myself, okay, I need to find a way to enjoy myself throughout this entire time because I know it's gonna be a big video. So I thought, let me really challenge myself. And I mean really challenge myself. Now back then I did use plugins and I used to use a lot of presets. I would rely on the same tricks over and over again because I just thought that they were so good I couldn't give them up. So I thought to myself, there's no way I'm gonna enjoy myself if I just do the same thing that I did before because let's be honest, nothing's gonna change. So I said, everything that I'm doing right now is just based on me relying on my plugins and me relying on the same techniques and presets and the same styles and everything. And everything was just becoming so repetitive. So I thought I'll just scrap everything that I know and start from scratch. I had the biggest video of my career on the line and I decided, fuck it, let's try something new. And I mean, everything will be new. I will not touch a single plugin. Every single preset that I will use will be made from that exact video. This was so exciting. I was thinking to myself, this is actually good. This actually seems like it's gonna be so fun. And it was. At no point was I just completely stressed because I had such a big window to do whatever I wanted. And I wanted to do something completely new. And that is scrap everything that I know and just do what I want. And that's exactly why I advise all of you at home to do right now. Scrap everything you know, everything you rely on. You see that Mr. Horse Composer shit you have in your layout? Scrap it. I bet you're thinking, oh, but it's so good. There are so many effects that I can use. Scrap it. I want you to scrap it right now. Because the truth is, you're relying on all your tools. Your tools isn't what makes you. It's your knowledge and what you do with it. So I advise you all to try something new the next time you edit. And I mean really try something new. Don't tie yourself down to a singular niche or don't tie yourself down to a singular editing style. Because your editing style should be generally based on how you think and how you do things. It should be your way of doing things. That's literally why it's your editing style. Now, even if you don't want to do this sort of stuff, I really advise that you do. Editing styles are very important, especially if you want to start scaling your income. There's this term called the blue ocean strategy. If you and a bunch of other people are in this ocean and there's a bunch of sharks, there'll be a lot of blood in the water. You'll be in a red ocean. There'll be complete chaos. There'll be so much. Everyone's fighting. However, if you are in a blue ocean by yourself and it's just you, there's no blood in the water. Everything's clear. This leads directly to your editing. If you try to edit like every other finance video there is, you will never be first place. You can work hours upon hours upon hours, but you'll never be first place. And even if you are, you're going to be doing too much work, even if you become the #1 finance editor and you reach price points like $1,000 or $1,500. It's going to take you so much longer to get there than it will if you just got your own editing style. Because the truth is, getting your own editing style means clients will be lining up to do work with you because there's no one else that works like you better than you. You are the master of your own craft and no one can take that away from you. Some kid can go and spend 24 hours for 7 days straight every single week and he would practice my editing style. But the truth is he will always be second because he doesn't think how I think and therefore he will never become first in my very own editing style. Now I understand inspiration because to be honest, I get inspired by a lot of editors nowadays. But the difference is I know what it's like to take inspiration just for that inspiration to be leading to complete copying. And I think the safest way you can avoid copying other people and getting your own editing style is by scrapping everything you know and starting from scratch. Explore the effects you have, explore your own softwares, see what you can and cannot do and try things out. Remember, editing styles aren't styles just because they have labels. Editing styles are just the way that you paint your canvas. Now I challenge you for the next time you take on a new commission or you just make a practice edit, try something new and give up something that you already know, because this is just taking one step forward to getting your very own editing style.